Well, Shalom, I'm back. So YouTube kicked me off somehow. I had to restart everything, which really sucks because I'm tired of that happening. And I know it's Satan. I rebuke him in the name of Yeshua. I was reading Revelation out of Hazan. So I'm just going to start reading anyway. So I don't know if all of y'all will find it, but if you do, I appreciate everyone that came to it. And I'm going to try to keep doing them every night, every Shabbat or Saturday night at 7:30. And I pray that if you find this video or this live stream that it's not by accident, that the Father wanted you to have a divine appointment, and that, you know, if you need prayer, I'll pray for you. I'm not one of those people that say they will. I will. And more so, I'll believe with you. So hopefully everyone I just lost will come back. If not, I'll read this and you can watch it later. Hazon 14, Revelation. And I looked and I saw a lamb standing on Mount Tyson, and him 140, wait, where am I at? 144,000, having his Father's name written upon their foreheads. And I heard a voice out of heaven, like the voice of many waters, and like the voice of the loud thunder. And I heard the sounds of harpists playing their harps. And then they sang a new song before the throne, and before the four living creatures and the elders. And no one was able to learn that song except for the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth. And those who were not defiled with women, for they are maidens. They are those following the Lamb wherever he leads them on. They were redeemed from among men before first fruits of Elohim unto the Lamb. Hang on. One more second. You know, I think it's just me that YouTube kicks off and I have to restart it several times when I have Starlink and regular Wi-Fi going. So there really is no reason that I should be kicked off of YouTube, but here I am. What up? I'm glad you got back on, Liz. I was reading Hazan Revelation. And I looked, and I saw the Lamb standing on Mount Tyson, with him 144,000, having his Father's name written upon their foreheads. And I heard a voice out of heaven, like the voice of many waters, and like the voice of a louder thunder. And I heard the sound of harpists playing their harps, and they sang a new song before the throne and before the four living creatures and the elders. And no one was able to learn that song except for the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth. They are those who were not defiled with women, for they were maidens. They had They are those following the Lamb wherever he leads them. They were redeemed from among men, being first fruits of Elohim unto the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no falsehood, for they are blameless before the throne of Elohim. And I saw another messenger flying at mid-heaven, holding the everlasting good news to announce to those dwelling on the earth, even to every nation and tribe, tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear Elohim and give esteem to him, because the hour of his judgment has come. And worship him who has made heaven and earth, and sea and fountains of water. And another messenger followed, saying, Babel, Babel is fallen, it is fallen, in the great city, because she has made all the nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her whoring. And a third messenger followed them, saying with a loud voice, If anyone worships the beast and his image, and receives his mark upon his forehead or upon his hand, he also shall drink the wine of the wrath of Elohim, which is poured and undefiled into a cup of his wrath, and he shall be tortured with fire and sulfur before the set apart messengers and before the Lamb. And the smoke of their torture goes upon forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night. They're those worshiping the beast and his image. Also, if anyone receives the mark of his name, here is the endurance of the set apart ones. Here are those guarding the commands of Elohim and the belief of Yeshua. And I heard a voice out of heaven saying to me, Write, Blessed are the dead who die in the Master from now on. Yes, says the Spirit, in order that way they rest, and their labors and their works follow with them. And I looked, and I saw a white cloud. And sitting on the cloud was one like the son of Adam, having on his head a golden crown, and on his hand a sharp sickle. And another messenger came out to the dwelling place, crying with a loud voice to the one sitting on the cloud, Send your sickle and reap, because the hour has come for you to reap, because the harvest of the earth is ripe. And the one sitting on the cloud thrust his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another messenger came out of the dwelling place which is in heaven, and he too held a sharp sickle. And another messenger came out from a slaughter place, having authority over the fire. And he cried with a loud voice to say to him, having the sharp sickle, saying, Send your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, because her grapes are ripe. And the messengers thrust his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of Elohim. And the winepress was trodden outside the city, and blood came out of the winepress up to the bridles of the horses for about 1,600 stadia. And I saw another sign in the heaven, great and marvelous, 7 messengers having the 7 last plagues, for the wrath of Elohim was ended in them. And I saw like a sea of glass mixed with fire, and those overcoming the beast and his image and in his mark and in the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, holding harps of Elohim. And they sing the song of Moshe, the servant of Elohim, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are your works, Yahovah, El Shaddai, righteous and true your ways, O sovereign of the set apart ones, who shall not fear you, O Yahovah, and esteem your name, because you alone are kind, because all the nations shall come and worship before you, for you are righteousness, and you have made manifest. I do have a favorite pen. It's a tactical pen. And if you don't know, this is the name of Yahovah, and a leptocodex, my favorite Hebrew, and in his name, beginning of the Yov is He will, he is, and he was. Which is pretty cool. All right. Can't ADHD right now, I forgot. So where was I at? And then, who shall not fear you, O Yahavah, and esteem your name, because you alone are Khan, because all the nations come to worship before you, for your righteousness has been made manifest. And after this I took and saw, or looked and saw, the dwelling place of the tent of the witness, the heaven, it was open, and out of the dwelling place came the 7 messengers, having the 7 plagues, dressed in clean bright linen, and having their chests girded with the golden bands. And the one of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 messengers 7 golden bowls, filled with wrath of Elohim, who lives forever and ever, in the dwelling place, who was filled with smoke, with the esteem of Elohim from his power, and no one was able to enter the dwelling place until the 7 plagues of the 7 messengers were ended. Don't forget to remember what? I've already forgotten. Sometimes it is hard when YouTube stops, because I get anxiety. I'm not good doing things on the spot. Sometimes I have slight dyslexia, so the words move when I'm trying to read, or they don't come out right. Or I'm remembering King James and other translations while I'm reading out the ISR, so it gets jumbled. Then that gives me anxiety. And then when people say things, I feel like I have to defend, but I know the Father will, especially if it's rude. And then I have ADHD, probably really bad. So I just never thought I actually had it until this last year, really. And thank you. And me and my daughter, my youngest daughter, it's very hard for us to go into a store, because if my other daughter isn't there to monitor us, we're like, do we need this? Because we don't, but we want it. And then it's real easy to be broke. So she has ADHD extremely bad. She gets it from her dad, and I have to keep redirecting, like, to get her to focus on things too. But then that's how I started realizing that my mind's like that too. And it goes so fast sometimes that it's almost overstimulating until it wears me out, if that makes sense. That's why I take all these supplements, like 27 I'm on now, different vitamins and things, to try to be somewhat normal. Yes, and I always write a list, and I never remember to bring it. So I'm horrible at a grocery store. And I get such bad PTSD that I want to get in and get out. But if it's somewhat not as crowded, then I see, I don't know, we see something that is like, that's really cool. It's not for me. I don't know, I'm broken, and that's okay. Normal people are weird. That's what I said. When I walk into a regular Christian church, most of them stop and stare like I shot their horse. And I haven't even shot their horse. Like, they don't even know I'm a total nice girl, I am. But they don't even give me a chance. They just don't like me. Or they think I'm Jewish, and I'm like this filthy Jew to them, and then they really don't like me. Don't really care. Number 16. And I heard a loud voice from the dwelling place saying to the 7 messengers, go and pour out the bowls of the wrath of Elohim on the earth. And the first went Okay, I gotta get this out of my head. So what I was just saying about like going into the store, there was this time that me and my girls were in there, and I seen this gigantic trash can just go into my peripherals. I'm like, what in the world? And of course, any loud sound, I'm ready. You know what I mean? And it was Stephanie, my friend, in camp in Oklahoma, with this giant trash can, and we're buying this gigantic chair that we did not need. Me and my daughters. So that's kind of, our normal. We're like, we don't need it, but we do. And I heard a loud voice from, okay, I already went there, so let's go to this one. Number 2, and the first went out and poured his bowl upon the earth, and the earth and the wicked sower came upon the men. Ooh, that does not sound fun, guys. Those having the mark of the beast and those worshiping his image. And the second messenger poured out his bowl on the sea, and it became blood as of a dead one, and every living creature in the sea died. And the third messenger poured out his bowl of the rivers and the fountains of water, and they became blood. And I heard the messenger of the water saying, You are the righteous, O Yahavah, the one who is and who was and who shall be. And that's why I brought up, that's right, my bookmark that I just read. Let me get back to where it was. Because they have shed the blood of the set apart ones and prophets, you have given them blood to drink, for they deserve it. And I heard another out of the slaughter place saying, Yes, Yahweh El Shaddai, true and righteous in your judgments. And the fourth messenger pours out his bowl on the sun, and it was given to him to burn men with fire. And men were burned with a great heat, and they blasphemed. You know what I mean? They're bad. The name of Elohim, who possesses authority over these plagues. And they did not repent to give him esteem. And the fifth messenger poured out his bowl on the throne of the beast, and his reign became darkened, and they gnawed their tongues from pain, and they blasphemed the Elohim of heaven and of their pains and their swords, and did not repent of their works. And the sixth messenger poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up, in order to prepare the way of the sojourners from the east, which is actually technically happening right now. And I saw out of the mouth of a dragon, and out of the mouth of a beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, 3 unclean spirits as frogs. For they are spirits of demons doing signs which go out to the sojourners of the entire world to gather them to the battle of the great day of Yahovah the Almighty. See, I am coming as a thief. Blessed is he who is staying awake and guarding his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And they gather together to the place called in Hebrew Har Megiddo, the ghetto, we'll just say. And the 7 messengers poured out his bowl in the air, and the loud voice came out of the dwelling place of heaven, in the throne, saying, It is done. And there came to be noises and thunders and lightning, and there came to be great earthquakes, such as a mighty and great earthquake, as had not been since men were on the earth. And the great city became divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babel was remembered before Elohim, to give her the cup of the wine and the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And great hail from heaven fell upon men, every hailstone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed Elohim for the plague of the hail, because the plague was exceedingly great. Whew. I'll probably go to 5 if you guys are up to it. If you're not, I'm still going to read it. So, And one of the 7 messengers who had the 7 bowls came and spoke with me, saying, Come, I shall show you the judgment of the great horse sitting on many waters, with whom the sojourners of the earth committed whoring, and inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her whoring. And I need water. Oh, it happens everywhere I go. It happens to my kids too, which sucks. Every church I've ever gone to, like, I don't know, I'm me. So I don't care. Like, I like-minded individuals, like, but the snotty ones, like, I wasn't accepted to eat at their table. I wasn't able to go to their women's retreat or group or mission. It was like, I put in so much work and I'm so loyal to people and what I believe in. They're missing out. So, oh well, I'm glad I didn't go to their stuff. But now I lost where I was. And he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast covered with the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was dressed in a purple and scarlet and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup filled with abominations and the filthiness of her whoring. And upon her forehead a name written, a secret, Babel the Great, the mother of the horrors and the abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the set apart ones and with the blood of the witness of Yeshua. And having seen her, I marveled greatly, And the messenger said to me, Why did you marvel? Let me explain to you the secret of the woman and the beast that she rides, which has the 7 heads and the